Hello, everyone. The topic of the presentation is global diffusion, SITL, as a stakeholder in advancing spectrum scholarship and practice. The spectrum of teaching style led a theory of teaching physical education that was originated in the 1960s. After 60 years later, in now 2025, in this theory still relevant today? And the answer for me is yes. Mostyn last vision was published in 1994. A new online vision was published by Dr. Sarah in 2008. And in 2020, a spectrum-related root-led book was launched, which is co-edited by Australian authors. Professor Espada from Spain continued the research and the practice of the spectrum teaching in 2025. And that's just a small microcosm of the global context. For any theory to be sustainable after being translated into practice, stakeholder participation is critical. The OECD is paid attention to this topic. Khadia's viewpoint provides empirical evidence from stakeholders regarding education policy. And these stakeholders' communities are non-governmental organizations. The Spectrum Institute for Teaching and Learning is the community of the spectrum of teaching style. I think the role of the SITL is, first, the mission of the Spectrum Institute is to provide a center for people from around the world to come and work together in the common commitment of improving quality teaching and schooling. And second, as a non-profit organization, the SITL supports spectrum-related activity events that are planned and delivered by both the Spectrum Institute and in conjunction with outside individuals agencies. So today, the purpose of this presentation are, one, to introduce and examine SITL's current grant funding programs for scholars and practitioners. And second, to envision future strategy for integrating the SOTS into daily practice in physical education, sports, and related field. So next, I invite Dr. Feng-Min to continue the presentation.
Okay, so thank you, Professor Shi. Now I will go on. So in this presentation, we will review 3 grant funding programs: Conference Grant, Research Grant, and Spectrum Videotaped Episodes Grant. Since 2022, more initiatives have been launched. In 2022, the SITL only ran the research grants program. Now, in 2025, we have 3 grant funding programs. Additionally, the table shows that the number of awarded grants increased and remained stable. Beginning in 2022, the total funding expenditures have exceeded 175,000 US dollars. The amount doubled each year, resulting in an increasing annual allocation year by year. And regarding the recipient's nationality and cross-region collaboration, over 55% of grant recipients were based in the United States, followed by Spain, Taiwan, Greece, and Turkey, among others. Among all the awarded grants, only 3 grants involved researchers from diverse regions. So if we examine the thematic trends of the awarded grants, we could easily find that the spectrum of teaching styles has been integrated into diverse research agendas. Topics such as students' affective development, including social and emotional learning, JD, justice, equality, diversity, inclusion, and pre-service teachers' intentions and perceptions were the first 3 that attracted significant attention from the academic community. The aforementioned outcomes revealed that the SITL has facilitated the diffusion of the spectrum of teaching styles across multiple regions, and the grant programs promoted by the SITL have consistently attracted scholars who integrate their research interests with the spectrum of teaching styles. Nevertheless, to ensure the sustained growth of the SITL's mission, there are opportunities that we can take, including extending outreach to underrepresented areas, fostering cross-regional research alliances, and investing in emerging scholars and practitioners. So, to make these opportunities possible, the SITL continuously collaborates with colleagues and promotes the following initiatives. First, the SITL invites people interested in the spectrum to join our member list of the Global Alliance. Additionally, the SITL signed a contract with the ISEP to support the ISEP's PhD summer school program for the next decade. Furthermore, the SITL is scheduled to host the first international conference in May 2026, marking 60 years since the spectrum was created in 1966. This conference will gather scholars from around the world to share and discuss their knowledge and experiences about the spectrum. Lastly, the SITL launched a new initiative called Sarah Ashworth Graduate Student Assistantship Scholarship Awards. Graduate student recipients of this award will receive financial support to their living expenses and research during their studies. This means the SITL is investing in emerging scholars and practitioners as a strategy of disseminating the spectrum of teaching styles. So, many things have been accomplished, and there are many more to come. If you are interested in what we are doing and where we are moving forward, the SITL has a Facebook page. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications of the latest news of the SITL. This is all for today's presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.